So I wanted to do a little side note video from our warm season food plot and talk a little bit about weed control. So as you can see right here, we've got a little patch of fescue grass that we're having a little bit of problem with. We sprayed this whole field with glyphosate before we planted, but it looks like we missed a little spot right here. And I thought, you know what, let's leave that and use it as a good opportunity to see how well our tillage practices control these weeds, see if it kills them, see if they come back. And what we've got here obviously is a good little patch of fescue and some other little weeds that the tillage really did not control. What we did, we went over this field with a chisel plow to break up some of the hard pan and also, some of the roots and clear some of the vegetation. Then we went back and we went over it with a disc to get our seed bed ready. And even with all that, this fescue has come right back up. And as you can see, as I try to pull it up here, I mean, it has re-rooted itself back in the ground, and it's growing like it was just before we planted. So our tillage did absolutely nothing to control this fescue right here. A lot of people think that they can go out there and do their tillage and that's going to control the weeds enough to have a successful food plot. And that is true to some extent. It will help control some of the weeds, but especially with these grasses, it's really not going to do a whole lot to control them. That's why I think a sprayer is one of the most important pieces of equipment you can have to maintain a food plot. But the good thing about this and the seed mixture we decided to plant is it's compatible to be controlled with a selective herbicide for grasses. If we would have planted grain sorghum instead of the sunflower with the cowpeas and lab, if we'd have went back over with clethodim or another type of grass selective herbicide, it would have killed our grain sorghum too. So that's why we chose to plant sunflowers in the mix. So we've got broadleaf plants in there that we can then go back over our plot if we have a grass problem with a grass selective herbicide. While it is true the grain sorghum might be a more preferred forage as far as the seed heads for the deer, the deer really aren't going to eat the sunflower leaves much or the grain sorghum leaves a whole lot, so they're pretty compatible there. The grain sorghum does have a little bit of advantage in the seed heads, as the deer do prefer the grain sorghum seed heads a little bit more than the sunflower. But that grain sorghum, it eliminates our ability to come back with a selective herbicide to control problems like this. So just wanted to throw that little side note in there and show that spraying your fields and getting good coverage with glyphosate before you plant is a really important part of that weed control to help you later on down the line. And also planting a mixture that's compatible with your selective herbicides and the problem weeds that you have is also very important. So stay tuned.